All right. Welcome back to Twinterra. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
And we're going to talk about effing around.
And finding out.
Oops, this way.
Exactly. Yeah, so, Trump has all these great ideas and concepts of plans.
Yes, they're in a lonely place called his brain. The cavity where his brain would be.
Yeah, there's a lot of echoing that goes on in there. He's got his own built-in echo chamber.
He doesn't actually have ideas. He has people that have ideas, and they whisper it into his ear. And if he likes how it sounds, then he says, "That's a great idea. I'll take. I think that's a great idea." And then he takes ownership of it.
Who in their right mind would whisper in that man's ear?
Anybody who wants to get something done, and they just need as Cash Peters would say, a dancing monkey to distract people while they work on their ideas in the background.
Well, you mentioned someone that might have whispered in his ear about birthright citizenship.
No, I did not mention that at all. No, Laura Loomer apparently whispered in his ear. She had a vacation to Panama, and she's taking credit for suggesting to him that the U.S. should take the Panama Canal back.
Yeah, so that's become a thing.
Now, I remember, I was sharing with Gary, I remember our dad just losing his mud when it was probably Clinton that gave, I think, timing-wise, because Panama took full control of the canal in 1999, which would be Clinton.
Yeah, it'd be
we built that canal, we're giving it away, blah, blah, blah. It's in their country. I have an idea. How about you be nice to them?
Yeah.
And then, Dad's always, well, they're going to cut us out. We have to go around. They become Russians. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there were probably Rush Limbaugh talking points.
Absolutely. It's like, I have an idea. How about diplomacy? How about you be nice to Panama, keep helping them out, being a good neighbor, and then they'll probably be a good neighbor and continue to let your ships pay a bunch of money to go through the Panama Canal. Jeez.
But yeah, so they got these great ideas. The other one that I was alluding to was he wants to end birthright citizenship, which that pesky Constitution allows for.
It would be amazing to watch Trump try and do this by executive order. It gets shot down, and then take it to the Supreme Court, who's supposed to rule on things on the Constitution. And the closest they came to it was not their rulings, which allowed Trump to be king, but it was on the Insurrection Act, where they basically said, no, you can't keep Trump off the ballot, even though the Colorado Supreme Court said, yeah, he's an insurrectionist. We're kicking him off our ballot. That's the closest they've ever come to actually ruling on the Constitution in recent history here. And I could be wrong with the presidents are king. That's ruling on the Constitution as well. But the 14th Amendment's pretty darn clear about birthright citizenship.
Yeah, Cash Peters had a video where Trump was attacking the Constitution was attacking back, and then Trump tried to sneak around behind it and attack it from behind, and the Constitution was too much for him. And that's one of those situations where if you want to end birthright citizenship, you have to amend the Constitution. And you need 2/3 of both the House and the Senate, and then 2/3 of the states to ratify it, right?
Or 80%, something like that. It's a really high, or like 80%. It's a really high bar, to attain. And you're not going to get it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you got to be careful what you wish for if you're going to try and basically kick out a bunch of immigrants.
Wait. You're not kicking out immigrants. You're taking away their citizenship. That's going to lead to his immigration policy, which is kicking out immigrants that, quote unquote, don't belong here, and their children too. Yeah. But one step at a time. But it's not a big step.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just the setting.
Next step. It's the natural progression of what's going to happen.
Yeah, and what I was telling Dave is like, if the MAGA was unhappy with the price of eggs and inflation under Biden, you can only imagine when you're starting to take a lot of the labor force and giving them the boot.
Yeah.
Hey, these are the folks that are out there. They're doing,
The work we don't want to do.
Yeah, they're working on the farms. They're working in the slaughterhouses. They're doing the landscaping. They're doing the construction, all the backbreaking work, and you're going to kick them all out. And if you can find someone to replace them, you're going to have to probably pay them a lot more because of just simple economic supply and demand.
Yeah.
You're going to have to lure them away from their Starbucks job or whatever, right? It's just you're effing around with stuff, and you're going to find out the consequences. And where Dave and I are we're somewhat resigned to the fact that unless something extraordinary happens, we're going to have Trump back at the end of January. He's going to get inaugurated, and we're going to have to deal with this.
We're keeping our fingers crossed that, again, this is out of our control. This is the Biden-Harris free will choices. Nothing we can really do about that.
Yep. Unless they subscribe and start watching our channel, there's not much more we can do.
Yeah.
We've sent letters of concern. We've asked questions and thrown cards, and we're doing what we can do. It's not up to us anymore. But it's for us. It's like, all right, as people who have supported Harris and Walz and their message of joy and happiness, we need to sit back and let them implode.
Yep.
We just, we're so busy coming in like the Knight of Swords, trying to save them from themselves, and ultimately we just need to let that little fool walk off the cliff. We can't be the white dog anymore. Let them fall off the cliff. It's a shame because there's some really nice people that are going to suffer because there's a bunch of people who don't play the tape all the way through, having to learn things the hard way.
This is why group projects suck.
Yeah. So why don't you start off with this one? Do you want to start off the general energy on?
No, you just go. Why the heck are our last 5 recordings taking us 8 minutes to actually get started?
Because we have a lot to say.
I'm tired of putting warnings on it. No, you go ahead and start.
Okay. The general energy around effing around and finding out. Let's just see what's going on. Okay. Foundation reading.
Effing around and finding out.
Four of Wands. Yay! We won the election. Everything's going to be great. Trump's going to come in and fix everything.
Well, go beyond the election. We're getting everything we want.
Yeah. The challenge is the Ten of Swords. We've gotten rid of Biden. We've gotten rid of the
You're still making this about politics.
Oh, okay. Well,
you've got everything you want, and you're going to put an end to everything you don't want. But it's like, I'm looking at your cards. Hey, this is the F around and find out. The F around, we win. The find out is, did we win? Is this what we really wanted? Because these idiots, here you go. The F around find out card. It's like, is this what we really voted for?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we're going to put an end to all the bad things. We win. We put an end to all the bad things. But underneath it, it's like, okay, so those crops need to be harvested. That building needs to be built. Where's all the workforce? I'm here all by myself, and I need someone to help do this stuff. I can only do one at a time, and there's a bunch left on there.
And mind you look at that bush and it looks like berries. It's like, who's going to be picking those?
Exactly.
Go to the grocery store and you're looking over what should be there. That's not there.
Yep. And how much money it's going to cost you for the stuff that is there.
Absolutely. Where's my roof? It's raining.
Yeah. In the past, hey, yay. Once again,
hooray, white people.
we've got everything we want. Everything's coming up roses. America's going to be great again.
Yeah.
current energy is the Four of Pentacles. You know, we're just going to keep everything that's ours, and we're going to get rid of the stuff that isn't ours because we don't want, you know, we want our slice of America. We don't have enough to share with anybody else. Which is really it. They don't, you know, the prosperity of America doesn't need to be shared. It needs to be hoarded.
It's also kind of like pulling the ladder up behind you. And now that I'm a member of the club, I want to close membership to the club.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. You know, that's kind of, I guess that's where I was going with it is, you know, I've got my bit of America, and we don't need to share anymore with anybody else.
And the funny thing is, that's been true with every immigrant demographic that's come into the U.S. You know, when just sort of, I don't know the order, but let's say when the Irish came in, you know, they were vilified by everybody who came before them until like the Italians came over. Yeah. And then it was the Italians that were the invaders, and the Irish weren't so bad because the dang Italians are coming in. And then after the Italians come in, guess what? Now they want to bring Chinese labor over here to build the railroads. And now the Chinese are the evil ones. And at least the Irish and the Italians are European area, but now we've got Asians coming in, and then whatever is the next one that comes in, whether it's I don't know what the jump goes from. Hispanic in San Francisco it would be Hispanics coming in. Then you had the Vietnamese boat people. I remember that when we were kids. Yep. Every new immigrant group that comes to the United States is vilified by everybody who's been there before, because there's this tendency to want to just pull up the ladder behind you and be the last one in.
Yep. So the overarching energy is the 10 of Wands. You know what? You're creating a big burden. These are the people that do all the hard backbreaking work. And guess what? If you are going to prevent them from coming, or you're going to escort them out, that backbreaking work, it needs to be done by someone. And it looks like right now it's going to be someone from Sweden.
You know what's funny is that Four of Coins, that's like saving money.
Yeah.
Because for all these, a lot of farmers in California, they're not, if you drive through the central part of California, you don't exactly see a bunch of Biden signs in there. You see a bunch of Trump nation signs going through there.
Yeah, the more rural areas tend to be leading towards Trump.
And you know, if they are so concerned about illegal immigration, they can vet the people coming in to do the labor on their farms and confirm that they have citizenship. And if they don't offer the other guys the jobs. But you know, that runs into money because you don't have the labor force in order to do that.
Yeah, they don't want to pay the overtime, and they can't let the crops, you know, just basically die in the fields. They need to get that stuff picked.
It's funny how the idealism works as a concept, but their daily lives would be vastly impacted if they didn't have that. I imagine this is the same fight we had with slavery.
Yeah.
You know, we should get rid of slavery, except I need my slaves in order to make money. So, you know, again, in the South, they didn't want to get rid of slavery because that's how they made money.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's going to be a big burden of work, and you're taking away the workforce that is willing to do that heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
The lesson to be learned, the Ace of Pentacles. There's enough here for everybody. There are things of value that everyone brings. There's enough wealth in this nation for everyone to be prosperous. You don't need to hold on to everything. There's enough for everybody. The outcome, the Emperor. Now that's interesting because that's been kind of our trump card.
Mm-hmm.
The outcome is the Emperor. It's kind of, so we're asking about effing around and finding out. It's the Emperor is very non-emotional. And this could be, in this case, us as Democrats, or people who have empathy, or people who embraced Kamala Harris's messaging, which is basically, this is what you signed up for. This is what you wanted. You won. You're going to get rid of all the bad things. Everyone was happy. Everything was going to be mine. But guess what? There's a lot of work out there. And you're starting to realize that these people did a lot of work for you. And now you're not going to be happy because there's a lot of things that aren't going your way. And this is what you wanted. This is what you signed up for. You effed around and you found out.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope you enjoy your ability to eat strawberries right now at like $3 a basket or $4 a basket, because they're going to be $20 a basket soon, and it's no longer going to be a birthright that you get to eat strawberries whenever you want. Now it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and they're going to be a delicacy almost.
Yeah, and that Ace of Pentacles could totally be you thought inflation was bad under Biden?
Exactly.
You see the size of the coin on that card?
Yeah. Now, for which is gonna, to me, it's like that Ten of Swords is literally the finding out. It's like, y'all thought that this was just gonna punish brown people and make your lives wonderful. And it's funny how it boomerangs and back. What they say about anger. Anger is like holding a hot piece of coal in your hand, squeezing it hard, hoping that it causes the other person a lot of pain and anguish. The only person burning your hand is yourself.
Yeah.
So, I want to read on MAGA as they start, the realization of MAGA as if they get what they want. Trump's, the 47th president, and they start instituting the mass deportations and things along those lines. How are they going to feel down the line as to who is being impacted? In other words, do all these price increases and stuff like that, do they start feeling like, oh, well, I got to own the lib, so it's okay for me to have to pay more? I just kind of go in their energy as these things happen. Now, mind you, Trump is also talking about getting rid of the FDIC and things along those lines, things that protect everyday people from disasters.
Let's make that
Foundation meaning is the Queen of Cups. You know what's going to happen? They're not going to shut up.
Okay, that's worth an Ace of Pentacles to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when you get embarrassed. You're rooting for this guy, you're rooting for something, and then you find out, oh,
yeah.
Not that they're seemingly incapable of shame, and they're even much less of incapable of admitting they were wrong. So what do you do instead? You shut up. Instead of like showing your ass to everybody, the first thing to do is you just shut up. The denial comes later, but the first step is to withdraw, because it's like, you're not so loud and proud anymore. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where I'm going with this one here, is that the loud and proud dies down. The outrage, that is always out there, is declining, because pair of queens too, because in some ways life is getting simpler. They have to sort of, they're looking at the values that they have. It's going back to basics. All the things that they could enjoy are now going to become more expensive. And like I was talking about $20 strawberries, right now you go to the store and you get berries for relatively inexpensive prices, but those are going to go up. And the prices, things that are inexpensive are going to become expensive. And if you're crowing about Biden and the price of eggs or something along those lines, a year later, when the price of eggs is up 50%, what are you going to say? It's like, we don't want to talk about this anymore. It's almost like, yeah, we don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You got what you want, and now you don't want to talk about it. The bragging and the crowing go down. In the past, the Two of Cups. This is like again, they got, hey, we own the libs. We got what we wanted. Trump's going to take care of us. We're going to get everything that we wanted, everything that's coming to us. and I like that phrase. We're going to get everything we deserve. They don't understand what that means. Okay, I'm going to quick segue again. And Gary will remember this one. For the Doctor Who fans out there and for our British folks, no, we're not going to talk like the David Tennant. We're going all the way back to the Five Doctors.
Oh, like John Pertwee?
Oh, no, the Five Doctors. You remember the Five Doctors where they had the first Five Doctors in a episode? And I believe that was the one that ended with the Master becoming immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a sarcophagus or something like that with all these faces on it. And the question was, do you want the immortality? And the Master says that's what he wants. And then he gets incorporated as a face in the mask on this casket. Then they look to the other doctors. Do you want immortality? They're like, no, we're good. We're good. Don't need that. And it's kind of like you get what you deserve. Mm-hmm. You wanted that? Fantastic. But come on down. So it's kind of like wishing for immortality. If you don't ask for eternal youth to go with it, if you're 1,000 years old, guess what? You sneeze, you're probably shattered every bone in your body type of thing. So you're going to get what you deserve. That card looks familiar.
Yeah, it does.
The current situation, as the things unfold, they're going to look at things and say, do we really want this? This is not what, it's kind of like we didn't vote for this. This is reaping what you sow. You sowed hatred. You sowed division, racism, all these low energy stuff. You're going to get low energy stuff right back at you. Hope you're really good at fixing your own roof if you need roof repairs. Hope you're really good at, growing your own food because food's going to get really expensive at the store, that type of thing. This is just the consequences that they don't look in the future. They can't play the tape all the way through and see the consequences of their actions.
There you go.
Overarching Energy is the devil card. You did this to yourself. You chose a low energy path. You chose a path of corruption and vileness, and you worship the devil, and that's what you get. Now, you can unchain yourself. Being quiet is the first step because it's that realization that we did the cell phone. They did it to themselves. How do you back away from that? That's going to be the hard part for them because their freaking egos are so tender and sensitive.
It's so funny because the answer on what you need to do is already there in the cards in front of you. How do you back off? Is you calm down. You start taking care of the people around you. You start making friendships and agreements, and you start working harder.
Yeah. One of the things that MAGA does is it brought a sense of community to people who didn't feel like they had community.
Yep.
And unfortunately, the community was based on racism and ignorance and anger and hatred and all these low energy stuff. So you've surrounded yourself with vile people, and you wonder why you're miserable. All they do is, it's a spinning down to the bottom. It's a vortex of miserableness. And at some point, you're going to be tired of being miserable, and you're going to want to get off that train. And, that's a voluntary action. You can stay on, be as miserable as you like for as long as you like. But you've done this to yourself, which also means you have control to get out of it.
Yeah.
Lesson to be learned, Six of Swords. You're talking about calming down, going from troubled water to calmer shores, moving away from the drama. But this is also you shipped out your immigrants. And maybe the lesson to be learned is to embrace the immigrants coming in. Right now, I'm assuming that what's happening here with all this is there's a lack of appreciation for immigrants and people that do the backbreaking work.
Yeah, damn straight.
And until you've suffered the consequences of your belief system, you're going to keep believing it. Again, this is why the Democrats really need to just let Trump be Trump. the Trumpiest Trump that Trump ever trumped, to impact the people, because most of the people that suffer from this aren't going to be non-Trump supporters. It's going to be the Trump supporters. They're the ones who will suffer the most, and they don't realize it. Out comes the Two of Wands. It's almost like a little bit of a self-reflection. Like, we did this. Do you want to do it some more? Do you want to keep going down that path? And do you want to keep? Yeah. Do you just want to keep going down that, or is it time to maybe reflect on what happened? Because they could take the actions to reverse it.
So I just want to do a quick four-carder. Will they have found out enough before the midterm elections in 2026 to change the course of this? Okay, so let's just do a quick four-carder. Did they learn enough to change the course of this? Foundation is heartbreak. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's how I translate that.
Yeah, heartbreak. They are not happy with how things are working. They have been misled and given false information that they believed in, and now they're confused as to why things are happening. Now they're finally starting to talk and have conversations about, what the heck is going on around here. We're not liking what we're seeing. We should have more help. It's the end of a cycle, the world card. A cycle is coming to the end, and underneath it, you've got the Lovers card. New high-level relationships and agreements and understandings. It would appear from these cards that midterm elections, they will have found out, and it's looking like current energy is there's going to be a change in the guard in 2026.
Yeah, from the looks of that, that to me looks like Republicans not coming out to vote. If you roll it into the Queen of Cups, they're not excited to vote because they got everything they wanted for. Again, they may not be able to admit they're wrong, so I wouldn't expect them to go out and vote blue. But it might also just be like, you know what? They're all corrupt. Why should I bother voting?
Yeah. I think that's exactly how they would couch it. Yeah. They're all corrupt. See, I wasn't wrong. They're all bad, so I'm just not going to vote for them.
Yeah, forget it. I'm done. I'm so busy working working overtime for jobs that don't pay overtime anymore, trying to keep my head above water that I don't want to spend time going to vote. Type of thing. Meanwhile, I think the Democrats are energized because it's like they want the nightmare to end.
Yeah.
And again, I think we did vote in numbers big enough to overcome the normal amount of gerrymandering, voter suppression, and shenanigans that are done. But the rights upped their shenanigans.
Yeah.
To even bigger levels. And I think that's the problem is that when you're an unpopular minority party that doesn't rule or govern to try and attract the majority of the country to support you, you have to go to more and more extreme behaviors such that even schlep rocks out there, there's your Flintstones reference.
That's right.
Or is that, anyway, schlep rocks out there, even they notice that it's like, geez, you don't even try to pretend that you're not cheating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, they're pretty much there. The only thing they haven't done is shown us what they did.
I know that Kim from Intuit View and others, and Susan Lin also talk about this, is that having Trump be the 47th president will fast track change in this country. Like they literally see him being impeached within the first 2 years.
Huh.
And maybe this time it might actually stick, Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, thanks.
And impeached and removed from office because people are fed up. I'd rather not go down that path. Walking across broken glass barefoot is not my idea of a good time.
Nope.
But again, it's a collective project and a group project. And just because I don't want to do that doesn't mean that's where the collective doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
I'll just be grumpy and bitter about it because it's stupid and wasteful and completely unnecessary. But
here we are.
But here we are. Yep. Can't do any. I've done what I can do about it. Yeah. I really have. Gary and I have both done what we can do about it. The only thing that's given me a modicum of hope is this last budget battle where a number of Republicans rebuked Trump's power play on them. Yep. That gives me some hope that we won't slip into fascism overnight.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we won't. It doesn't look like it's going to happen quickly. So we really can throw sand in the gears. And, maybe this is what it's going to take for folks on the right to realize that owning the libs sounds real good until their eggs are $10 a dozen and their strawberries are $20 a basket. And, they're tired of eating the same old gruel because that's all they can afford.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the billionaires are living high on the hog, and they've done this to themselves.
So another uplifting read from Twin Tarot.
Sometimes the lessons have to be painful in order to be learned. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So
I was ready to embrace your T-shirt there.
Joy is back.
Yes. I was ready for the joy and the happiness. Apparently, we need a little more anger and punching down.
Yeah, I have to check with Ozzy's mom to see if she's got any new T-shirts out there. Join the resistance or something.
Exactly. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. You can subscribe. We put out a new video at midnight Pacific time every single day. Leave a comment. I read them all, and I respond to many of them.
Yeah, we do appreciate your supporting our channel. We hope that we give you some hope. Sometimes we have to be angry too, because it's just boundaries are being violated, morals are being crushed, and you have to have some energy to push back on it. If you get all mopey, no, you don't. You can speak out against it. That doesn't mean you don't have to endure it, but you can throw sand in the gears too. Yeah. But again, thank you for your support. We do appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next video.
For entertainment purposes only, the secret card today is justice. Hopefully, we can all get some justice out of this.
I hope so too. We'll catch you on the next video.
Bye.